After staying up all night preparing my wife's surprise birthday party, I found her in the guest bedroom, whispering to her affair partner, "He's such a loser, he thinks a party will fix it." I didn't cancel the party, I kept smiling as I unveiled a slideshow of every text and photo I had found. She ran out sobbing before the cake was even cut. I'm a 39-year-old guy living in Lexington, Kentucky. Been married for 7 years to Rachel, 34. I work as a mechanic. Not flashy, not rich, but I've always done my best to show up, stay loyal, and be a good man. Rachel works in marketing. She's outgoing, quick with words, and knows how to get people on her side. When we met, I was hooked fast. I fell hard. She made me feel like the luckiest guy in the room. And for years, I thought we were solid. We weren't rich, but we were happy. Or at least I was. About a year ago, things started feeling off. She got a new position at her firm. More hours, more stress, more meetings. That's what she told me. At first, I was proud of her. I stepped up at home. I'd clean the house, cook, run errands, whatever it took to give her room to breathe. But she didn't get happier. She pulled away. She stopped texting me during the day. Stopped joking around like she used to. Sex dropped off too. And when it happened, it felt mechanical, like something she was just getting through. She guarded her phone like it was full of state secrets. She changed her password. Took it with her to the bathroom. If I walked by while she was using it, she'd flip the screen down like a reflex. I asked her if something was going on. She said I was being paranoid. That it was just work. I wanted to believe her. I really did. I figured maybe I was just insecure, or reading into things too much. So I buried the feeling. 4 months. Then her birthday came up. I knew things weren't great, but I thought, maybe if I remind her what we have, it'll spark something again. I spent 2 weeks planning a surprise party. She always said she missed the kind of parties we had when we were younger. So I went all in. I called her parents, her friends, co-workers, even a few of my friends. Got the backyard cleaned up, put up lights, rented a projector. Made a custom playlist of her favorite songs from when we first dated. I stayed up the whole night before setting it up. Blew up over 100 balloons. Printed photos. Put together a timeline of our years together. I poured my whole heart into it. Around 4:30 a.m., I was going to grab an extra blanket from the guest bedroom. I walked past the door, and it was open just a crack. The light from her phone lit up the dark room. She didn't see me. She was lying on the bed, whispering. I stopped when I heard her say, "He's such a loser. He thinks a party will fix it. He stayed up all night like a damn puppy." Then a man's voice replied. Calm, amused. "Jesus. You sure you're not just using him for his paycheck?" She laughed. That sound, God, that sound. It was a laugh I hadn't heard in months. And it wasn't meant for me. I'm just keeping it going long enough to not look like the bad guy. After the party, I'm done. I didn't move. I didn't breathe. I just stood there while my world cracked apart like a windshield hit with a hammer. I walked back to the couch. Sat there in silence. I didn't cry. Not then. Something went cold inside me. That's when the idea started. I didn't confront her. I didn't scream or flip furniture. I started pulling everything together. See, a few months earlier, I'd set up a cloud backup for our phones. She didn't notice. I'd told her it was for security in case we lost our data. So while she was out the next day, getting her nails done, I opened the drive and started looking. She'd been cheating for at least 6 months. There were hundreds of texts. Some were full of flirting, dirty photos, and late-night plans. Others were just cruel. Texts like, "He still calls me babe like we're in high school. I feel like I'm pretending to love a cardboard box." Photos of her at hotels. Her wearing lingerie I never saw. Audio clips of her laughing about me. Jokes about my job. My truck. Even my dog. I saved everything. Screenshotted every message, saved every photo. I organized them into a slideshow. I named the file "Happy Birthday, Rachel." I loaded it onto a USB and plugged it into the laptop connected to the backyard projector. That night, the guests started to arrive. Her parents brought her a gift basket. Her best friend hugged me and said, "You really outdid yourself, man." People were laughing, drinking wine, talking under the string lights I spent hours hanging. At 7:15, Rachel walked in. I had my phone ready and yelled, "Surprise." Everyone clapped. She smiled wide. Kissed my cheek. Acted like she was touched. She had no idea what was coming. She walked around saying thank you, hugging people, complimenting the setup. She even said she felt like the luckiest girl alive. At 8:30, I stepped in front of the screen. Everyone quieted down. "I just want to say thank you all for coming," I said. "I wanted tonight to be special." Rachel's always loved looking back on good memories. So I put together something I think sums up her year pretty well. She froze. She looked at me like something wasn't right. Her smile didn't reach her eyes anymore. "Babe, don't. I mean, we don't need to." I clicked play. The first few slides were normal. Her birthday from last year. A trip we took. Photos with our dog. I saw her start to relax. Then came a message that popped up in bold letters. "He's such a loser. He thinks a party will fix it." Silence. Next slide, a text from her to her affair partner. "If I have to hear about spark plugs one more time, I'll scream." The next slide. A picture of her in a hotel mirror wearing red lingerie. The caption said, "Wearing this for you tonight, not the dumbass at home." Gasps. A wine glass shattered. I heard her mom say, "Oh my God." Then an audio file played. It was her voice. Clear as day. "After the party, I'm out. I can't stand looking at him anymore." People were frozen. Staring. Nobody moved. Rachel stepped forward, voice shaking. "Turn it off. Turn it off." I didn't. I let it play for 5 more minutes. Every awful thing she said about me. Every photo. Every lie. When it ended, I turned to the crowd. "I just wanted you all to know who she really is." Rachel was crying. Her face was red. Her father looked away. Her best friend whispered something and walked toward the front door. Rachel ran off before the cake was even brought out. I stayed in the backyard while everyone slowly left. I didn't cry. I didn't chase her. I just sat in one of the chairs I spent all night setting up. After everyone left, I cleaned up the backyard alone. I didn't rush. I moved slow. Tossed out empty cups. Took down the string lights. Boxed up decorations I once thought she'd love. I remember looking at the balloon arch and feeling sick. The night was quiet except for the sound of my neighbor's dog barking and some distant cars. She didn't come back that night. Around noon the next day, I got a knock at the door. It was Rachel. She looked wrecked. Hair tied back, sunglasses hiding her face, wearing the same clothes from the party. She tried to push past me. "We need to talk," she said. I stepped in her way. "No. We don't." She raised her voice. You humiliated me in front of my parents, my co-workers. I cut her off. You humiliated yourself, Rachel. I just showed them who you are. She broke down crying right there on the porch. I messed up, okay? I was lonely. You were always working or tired. I needed something, someone who made me feel seen. I didn't respond. Just stared at her. All I could think about was the months of betrayal. Her voice laughing in that audio clip. Her texts calling me pathetic. I want to fix this, she said. Please. We can go to therapy. I'll block him. I'll change. Just, please. She thought she could guilt her way back in. But the thing is, I already knew what she really thought of me. She didn't miss me. She missed the safety. The comfort. The image. I'll have the divorce papers sent to your office, I said. Then I closed the door. I thought that'd be the end of it. But it wasn't. A few days later, I started getting calls from unknown numbers. Then I started getting emails, anonymous ones, saying I was abusive, that I emotionally neglected her, that I was controlling. Her affair partner, the guy she whispered to in my house, had started a whisper campaign. He was trying to protect her image, and his. Then HR at her company got involved. Someone had forwarded the slideshow. Rachel lost her job. I'll admit, I didn't expect that. She texted me the same day, "You ruined my life. I hope you're happy." I didn't respond. Later that week, her parents called me. Her dad asked if we could meet. I didn't want to. But I agreed. We sat outside a diner in town. He looked 10 years older than he did at the party. I just want to understand, he said. How did it get to that point? I told him everything. The distance. The lies. How I gave her chances to come clean. How I planned the party to try and save the marriage. He listened. When I was done, he nodded slowly. I'm not saying what you did was kind. But I get it now. You didn't destroy her. She did that herself. He slid a check across the table, $500. For the party expenses. I pushed it back. Keep it. Things got weirder after that. Rachel started showing up at places I went to, my gym, the grocery store, even the shop I work at. Always looking like she wanted to talk. Once, she stood by my truck for almost half an hour before I finally asked her to leave. Then one night, I came home to find her sitting on the front steps. She looked different, calm. Cold. You're going to regret this, she said. I didn't reply. Just walked past her. Later that night, I found out she'd posted a long message on Facebook, tagging mutual friends, saying I had a breakdown and smeared her out of nowhere. Said she was scared for her safety and accused me of being emotionally manipulative. Some people believed her. But others didn't. Her own cousin commented, "Girl, I was at the party." People started pulling away from her. Even the affair partner, Matt, I later learned, started backing off once his name got caught up in the mess. 2 weeks later, she texted me again. Can we talk? Please. No tricks. Just talk. I didn't answer. But I wasn't done either. 3 days after she sent that last text, I got a letter in the mail. Not from Rachel. From her lawyer. She was trying to file for separation first, not divorce. And in the documents, she claimed I was mentally unstable. That I violated her privacy, broadcast intimate materials, and publicly humiliated her in a malicious way. I sat there staring at the letter. My hands were shaking, not from fear. From rage. She was trying to flip the whole thing. Make me look like the monster. She was rewriting the story, using just enough truth to make it believable. That same day, I called a lawyer of my own. Old family friend named Wade. Honest guy. Tough, but fair. I brought him everything, copies of the texts, photos, timestamps, even a copy of the slideshow itself. Wade reviewed everything and looked up from the pile. She wants a war, he said. Fine. Let's give her one. Here's where things got interesting. A week after that, I learned she had moved in with Matt. The guy from the guest room. The one who laughed about me behind my back. I also learned Matt was married. With a 3-year-old daughter. Rachel didn't mention that part to me. Turns out, Matt's wife, Julia, had no idea what had been going on. She thought Matt was traveling for work every time he met up with Rachel. She had no clue her husband had been sleeping with another man's wife in hotel rooms and their SUV behind a Kroger parking lot. Yeah. I found that location in the texts too. So I reached out to Julia. I didn't do it to be cruel. I did it because she deserved to know. I sent her a polite message, told her who I was, and that I had proof of what was going on. She didn't reply at first. 3 days later, she did. She asked to meet. We sat in her car outside a coffee shop and went through the screenshots. Her hands were shaking. She didn't cry. She was too numb for that. When she finished, she asked one question: did they ever do it in my house? I didn't have an answer. I honestly didn't know. That same week, Julia kicked Matt out. Told his family. Posted her own version of the story, text evidence and all. Turns out she knew how to make her words land. Her post went viral in our town's community page. People shared it like wildfire. Now both Rachel and Matt were toxic. Rachel lost more than her job. She lost her image. Her support system. Her reputation. But she still wasn't done trying to win. She started messaging my friends. People I hadn't talked to in years. Making it sound like I had cheated on her. Said I made up the affair because I couldn't satisfy her needs. A few folks reached out, confused. But by then, I had the truth saved, organized, and ready. I just forwarded it all. After that, nobody had questions. Then one night, around 2 a.m., I woke up to a loud bang. My truck windshield had been shattered. The next morning, I found "cheater" keyed into the side door. Except she spelled it cheater. Security cam from my neighbor's garage caught a blurry image. Couldn't see the face, but the frame and build matched Rachel. I didn't call the cops. Not yet. Instead, I printed the photos and sent them to my lawyer. We added it to the file. And we waited. Rachel had filed for separation and tried to paint herself as the victim. But with everything we had, messages, photos, the online posts, and now potential property damage, it started flipping back. Wade filed for full divorce, citing adultery and character defamation. He also included a civil complaint for intentional emotional distress and damage to personal property. When Rachel was served the documents at Matt's new apartment, he got kicked out of his own house, she finally called me. I didn't answer. She left a voicemail. I never wanted it to get this bad. I didn't know you'd actually go this far. Please, can we end this quietly? No. We couldn't. I ignored her voicemail. I let my lawyer handle everything from that point forward. Rachel's request to end this quietly wasn't because she wanted peace, it was because she saw the storm coming. Her lies were unraveling fast. Her parents stopped speaking to her. Her friend group splintered. Some tried to stay neutral, but most didn't. She had nowhere left to spin the story. Meanwhile, I focused on rebuilding. I put in extra hours at the shop. Started jogging in the mornings. Ate better. Slept more. I didn't go out much, but when I did, I kept to old friends, the ones who didn't ask too many questions, the ones who just showed up with a six-pack and let me talk if I wanted to. A month later, the court date finally came. She showed up with a new lawyer, some overconfident guy who looked like he practiced law out of a strip mall. Wade didn't even flinch. When it came time to present the evidence, we showed everything, carefully, calmly, and in order. The texts. The photos. The voice messages. The retaliation posts. The truck damage. And finally, her false accusations sent to friends and posted online. Her lawyer started to push back until the judge interrupted him. "Ma'am," the judge said to Rachel, "based on the evidence presented, you were not only dishonest, but malicious. You attempted to destroy this man's reputation. You filed with bad faith, and you tried to manipulate the legal process to cover your own wrongdoing. That ends today. I was granted the divorce. Full fault-based. But the best part? The judge ordered $18,000 in damages for emotional distress, legal fees, and repair costs, including the windshield and truck door. Rachel was forced to liquidate her savings account to start paying it off. Her new job? She didn't have one. Word had spread about the scandal. Nobody wanted to hire someone who publicly flamed out and dragged their employer into a mess. Matt didn't escape either. Julia filed for divorce and sued for custody. She got full custody of their daughter. Matt was ordered to move back in with his brother and now pays hefty child support. Julia also shared everything with his boss, and Matt was quietly let go a few weeks later. One night, months later, I was leaving work when I saw Rachel standing in the parking lot of the strip mall across from the shop. She was working at a vape store. Wearing a baggy hoodie, looking down at her phone. I didn't feel anger. Or pity. I just felt nothing. I drove home and didn't look back. But here's the truth, I wasn't spotless in all this. I became obsessed with making sure everyone saw what she did. I went too far with the slideshow, maybe not legally, but emotionally. Some friends told me later it was brutal. That maybe I should have just left. Maybe they're right. But after all the lies, the sneaking, the nights I spent alone thinking I was the one falling short, what I did wasn't revenge. It was survival. I didn't just want people to see the truth. I needed myself to see it too. I needed to remind myself I wasn't the failure she made me out to be. It took time. But eventually, I stopped waiting for an apology. I stopped checking her socials. I stopped counting how many people believed me or believed her. One morning, I looked in the mirror and didn't see a broken man anymore. I just saw a man. Still here. Still standing. And that, more than anything, was the real win.